Would not be me. Well, welcome to Pro Wrestling Chatter. I am Diamond Dog. We've got Tom here and Logan somewhere lurking in his logo. Um,
I gotta change that logo.
so this is basically a new segment that's coming to the channel now, and we're going to talk professional wrestling, whether it be Ring of Honor, WWE, Impact Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling, or independent wrestling itself. So there's Logan. So I myself am an 8-year retired veteran of professional wrestling. Um, I loved it. So I love talking about it. So, let's kind of hint at a little thing here. We've got the rivalry here that is behind Logan. Seth Rollins
Versus
and
the Fiend.
the Fiend Bray Wyatt at Hell in a Cell. What are your predictions, Logan?
Well, it's going to be a good match. It really is because Seth Rollins beat Brock Lesnar. Of course, everybody knows that because he wouldn't be Universal Champion if he didn't fucking beat Brock Lesnar, right?
Right.
So, my prediction, this is just my prediction. I think the Fiend is actually going to take down Seth Rollins.
Well, you got to think they're investing a lot of money into his character.
I think Bray Wyatt's new character is freaking great.
Well, you look, after NXT came to the USA Network this past Wednesday, they basically started putting on WWE Shop all t-shirts for all the NXT guys. They were so crooked in this fact because they looked like generic Joe Schmo off the street t-shirts with just the name, and that was it. They put a lot of work into Bray Wyatt's new t-shirt that's got his lantern on the front, the severed head lantern. They put a lot of work into that. And, Bray Wyatt, he's wanted to do this Fiend character since his inception in WWE. And hey, I feel that if Bray can get one over on Seth Rollins, kudos. He deserves it. But, there's that fine line because now that you've got Eric Rowan and Luke Harper back into play on SmackDown, and you got the Beast Braun Strowman kind of lurking there, Mr. I get these hands. Wyatt family reunion?
They've done a lot of Shield reunions.
Yeah, but now we're not going to see a Shield reunion.
Nope. Because you got Dean Ambrose over there in AEW.
Yep. And so, I mean, Tom, I don't know if you've kept up with wrestling recently.
When I was really younger, I did keep up with it. I used to watch The Rock, Stone Cold, Steve Austin. It was a lot of fun. I mean, when I was a kid, I was just watching it all the time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When I got older, I fell off.
Yeah, when that happens. I mean, you've got a good feud, a picture behind you, Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
That was one of the best feuds of the Attitude Era, if not the best feud.
By far, one of the best, because you got to think, Rock's feuded with everybody from Mankind to Triple H, Hulk Hogan, the synonymous pass the torch to The Rock from Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania. I believe it was X8 in Canada. So, I don't ever think The Rock will come back for entering competition, but we've got a whole new crop of talent in WWE that are just scratching and clawing. Pun the phrase scratching and crawling, actually. With Bray Wyatt attacking every.
He attacked Kane. He's attacked Seth. He's attacked. Now.
Attacked Jerry Lawler.
Oh, God.
Booker T used to be around.
See, what I was wanting to talk about was your reactions to Clash of Champions, the most recent pay-per-view where we're a little bit late to this, but I just want to see, like, the first match that pulls up is in the main event, Seth Rollins defeats Braun Strowman. Your reactions, Diamond Dog.
My reaction with, Braun Strowman being the beast that he is, and Seth Rollins being the CrossFit Jesus, should we say, of the WWE. There was a David and Goliath type of deal. My thoughts on it were they both did in-ring good, awesome, tremendous work. Kind of, I was expecting Braun to get his first title because the tag team titles, that doesn't count. That's like the Intercontinental and the U.S. title now, or the women's title. It's just kind of fizzled to a popcorn fart. So it really doesn't count, and you cannot fart in a submarine either. So, but I would have loved seeing Braun Strowman take it. So I was kind of surprised.
See, I feel the same way. All right. I think it was after like 4 curb stomps and a pedigree to knock down Braun Strowman. Now, Braun Strowman has been building his character for the past few years. He's lost title matches to Brock Lesnar. And then he loses to Seth Rollins. Now, I was expecting Braun Strowman. I was expecting a good match because Seth Rollins, being the athlete that he is, I was expecting a good match, but the outcome, I just didn't expect that.
No.
I was expecting Braun Strowman to get his first singles title.
Well, I mean, that's what everybody kind of, thinks. With all the backstage heat that Braun had, recently got in the last few months because of his, I guess, lackadaisical attitude towards everything. He was in that slump, and he admitted on an interview that he went into McMahon's office there at the arena, and McMahon told everybody, the creative team, the writers, to get out of the room. And he talked to Braun firsthand and told Braun that, he's got to get into his own mindset and take charge, and he'll become something in this business. I mean, I'm not saying he's nothing in this business, because he's got that it factor that everybody, the WWE looks for. He's got that it factor. The big arms, the big biceps, the everything. It's just he lacks creativity. I mean, how many times can you talk like this into the mic and say, "Get these hands"? That's just my opinion. I mean, there's been characters that have done that over the years. If they could integrate something different instead of him being this big bulking behemoth, looking like frickin' Frankenstein, and I'm gonna get to that little note here in just a short. So there's a little hint to where this is going.
Not to cut you off. Classic goes, where's the link? You're live. You just messaged. I just checked my phone now.
Well, if you wanna send the link to Classic,
He already has it, I think. Yeah.
Did you lock the room?
Yeah, somebody's gotta have to.
You gotta unlock the room. I'm not. How do I unlock the room? Come on, Classic. I'll unlock the room.
Participant.
Manage participants, right? No, we're just all. I don't know.
First, pass you host or something. Unless you want us to pass it to me real quick, and I'll pass it back.
Yeah, Tom. There you go.
but with Braun Strowman, you know, to get back on that little subject, you know, he's got what, a few moves within his repertoire of moves. You know, it's kind of like that one-dimensional thing. He's got a big run you over, run a sprint around the barricade and bulldoze you over, and hope to Jesus Christ you don't smack a cameraman on the way down. Or at least tear a ligament or something. And then he's got a power slam, which, you know, kudos, God rest his soul. British Bulldog, that was one of his main signature moves, is the running power slam.
Yep.
So, you know, my opinions, you know, I would have loved to see Braun take over Seth, and he just needs to get his attitude and demeanor a little bit better.
Yep.
Kind of get out of that I'm a big hulking beast.
See, Braun Strowman has the potential to be the greatest big man in wrestling.
Yeah.
Of all time. Because he's got, not only does he got the size, but he's got the speed and the agility of someone who's half of his weight.
Yeah. But you sit there and you look at it. How many big men that, you know, matches that they've done over the years? Big Show versus Mark Henry, like half a dozen times.
They collapsed the ring a half dozen fucking times.
Yeah, I mean, and there's Classic. Speaking of another big man. Big man.
What's up, y'all?
You know, there are so many matches that so many fans want to see in WWE, whether it be Sting versus The Undertaker, AJ Styles versus Shawn Michaels.
Right?
That'd be a good one.
That would be a good one, considering AJ, you know, or not AJ, but Shawn Michaels, of course, is no. I mean, he's up there in age, and I mean, I know he can still get it when the going gets good, but you know, AJ has got that speed behind him. He's not as speedy as he once was when he was in TNA. I can see that. There's been a lot of injuries down his road when it comes to AJ Styles. And I can see that those are kind of building up because he's not doing a lot of the stuff that he's known for. Sting versus Taker.
They're both old. No offense, but
let's see whose hip can hold up. You know, Taker just got that hip replacement, but let's see whose hips can hold up. I mean, Sting, he was good in the 90s and the 80s and into the 2000s. But when he came to WWE, it was kind of a fizzle.
Yeah.
They treated him almost like the gobbledygooker did. They did in the '80s. You would think
gobbledygooker. I haven't heard that name in a while.
You think he would have popped out of a freaking egg at Survivor Series. And Classic's over here talking, and I can't hear a word he's saying because he's muted. But the truth of the matter is, Sting, after his little quote unquote run against Seth.
And then against Triple H, he got injured against Triple H.
Well, he got injured against Triple H. It was not a minor injury from what I had read then.
It was a neck injury.
That was against Seth Rollins. That was against Seth Rollins. Yep. Because he wanted to impress the younger talent to show that he still can do what he could do.
Yeah.
And that's the fatal mistake for seasoned veterans. You want to keep pushing like you used to, but you can't.
No, and back to the subject of Braun Strowman, like his character, like you said, is just this bulking behemoth power man.
Yeah.
Like he is the monster among men.
Yeah. And who came up with that?
Probably Vince.
No. God rest his soul, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
Really?
He came up with the monster among men character. That's what he wanted to see Braun Strowman as. He wanted to see him larger than life, not necessarily like, brother Hulk Hogan, say your vitamins and take your, whatever. He didn't want him like that. And he didn't want him to become a son of a plumber either. But the truth of the matter is, Daddy, he wanted Strowman to be something that is revolutionary in this world. He wanted to be the monster. God rest Dusty's soul. I've met Dusty one time. Phenomenal guy. And it.
So do you think that's why he lost the title to Seth? Or he didn't lose the title, but he lost against Seth is because his character needs development?
Yeah. He didn't have much of a run in NXT. They just brought him up. Hey, let's throw him with the Wyatt family. It's going to be another big hulking behemoth in the Wyatt family.
Black sheep.
Yeah. So, I mean, he didn't have much of a developmental run in NXT. I mean, he comes from a bodybuilding background. We've seen that. I mean,
powerlifting.
God rest his soul. We've seen that. Ultimate Warrior. We know how his wrestling style turned out. Mr. I'm Dangerous. But anyways, Braun knows what he's doing. If he got a character that would work for him instead of just get these hands.
Get these hands.
And if he
get these hands.
And if he could learn to hold the microphone not so close to his mouth like this. There's a 6-inch rule, just like this, in wrestling.
That's where ST got it from.
Braun Strowman.
I'm sorry, I just gotta talk like this. And I've heard a phone interview. Braun Strowman sounds the same on a phone interview as he does doing a promo in the ring. He's like, I'm gonna get these here right. It's like he's talking and he's trying to swallow the microphone. I mean,
okay.
Really?
He does need development, though. I mean, like you said, he has 2 moves, maybe. All right. And I mean, I've seen him do some drop kicks. But most of his thing is splashes in the corner, running around the ring, and just blowing everybody out of his way, and the power slam.
Yeah.
That's like Roman Reigns' character. Drive by, Superman punch, spear.
And you got to think.
And Samoan drop.
Yeah, you got to think. Roman Reigns with his family lineage there, you know.
The Anoa'i family.
The Samoan dynasty, you know, he should know that a character works. Not the flak jacket, the bulletproof vest, looking like he's some SWAT team member. You know, I'm sorry, the Shield has died, R.I.P. A while back, and thank goodness they didn't go with the original way the Shield was going to be. Literally, come out with riot shields that said the Shield on them.
Oh God!
But originally, the Shield was actually the brainchild of one Phil Brooks, aka CM Punk.
Yep, I remember that.
But, I'm humbled that, and kind of happy because another match I think was on Night of Champions. And if you do the abbreviation, sorry for females in the room or whatever. The abbreviation of Night of Champions is COC.
Clash of Champions.
Clash of Champions is COC.
COC.
Is COC.
Okay, so now on to the next match. Kofi Kingston retained the title against Randy Orton. Your thoughts, Diamond?
Ooh. Okay. Kofi Kingston is talented as talented can get. No disrespect to the man. Randy hasn't held a title, at least a mainstream title, in a while. He's past his heyday, should we say. I was surprised. I would have loved to seen another Orton title run.
Yeah.
I don't like how they're, bringing in nostalgia pops with that, all the older stuff that they did when they feuded back in the early 2000s. But I was really surprised. I wanted Randy Orton to get that title because Kofi Kingston, they need to do something with him. That character, the New Day, yes, it gets along with the kids, but they're moving to Fox Sports for crying out loud. You got to think that New Day stuff ain't going to work much longer. Fox is not going to want that.
No.
Okay, Classic. Your thoughts on Kofi Kingston beating Randy Orton?
I think it was bound to happen. I don't know, man. I think Randy. I mean, I like Randy Orton and everything, but I don't know. It's almost like he knew it was coming, I guess you could say. I think it was bound to happen. So I thought, Randy Orton was a badass back in, back when he first came out and everything, and
when he was with Evolution and
yeah, he was bad to the bone, man. I give him that, and his whole persona, of how he was like the the mean guy, the bad guy and everything, and then he kind of became good again, and I just think it was time to see Randy Orton get it was time to see somebody take him out, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So.
All right, my thoughts on it. Now, Randy Orton has had long feuds and good feuds with many big name superstars. i.e., Mr. John Cena. Their I Quit match a few years ago. You know? And, I mean, he hasn't held a title since, I think, Backlash of a couple of years ago when he lost to Jinder Mahal. Biggest bust in WWE was giving Jinder Mahal a title. But in losing to Kofi Kingston, yes, I would have liked to see Randy Orton win.
Yeah.
Because Randy Orton is a great heel.
Yeah.
He plays a great bad guy. I mean, I liked it back when he was punching people's heads. When he had that feud with Triple H when Triple H was handcuffed to the bottom rope and he kissed Stephanie McMahon right in front of Triple H. Randy Orton is not afraid to take his character to Randy Orton is a great champion. I think he's a 13-time champion. I'm not including his Intercontinental run or his tag team or United States championship. As a world champion, he's a 13-time world champion. And I would like to see him get his 14th title. His, 14th title rank.
Good night.
But I mean, Randy Orton is good at evolving his character. Because I remember back when he first came out, he was with Evolution. Then he became the Legend Killer. That was back when he was feuding with all the legends and then feuding with The Undertaker. And Undertaker beat him at WrestleMania. Which that was a good match.
Yeah, it was. That was a really good one.
And now he's the Viper. They call him two names, the Apex Predator and the Viper. Now, Kofi Kingston has been limited on, because he has a high-flying style that, say, Rey Mysterio has. And if you've seen some of Kofi Kingston's Royal Rumble matches, his Royal Rumble saves, where he just, they throw him out of the ring and he's, walking on his hands to the fucking ring. But now Kofi Kingston's limited. It seems like he's more limited now because he's been in it for a few years. Now, one thing I do disagree with, October 4th, when they premiere on Fox, they're having Kofi Kingston face Brock Lesnar.
What?
Yes.
I don't know about that.
Vince McMahon has a fascination with big, sweaty men.
Right?
But I would have liked to see Kofi Kingston in a close match, but I would have liked to see Kofi Kingston hop off the top rope and do some sort of move. Then Randy Orton hits him with an RKO in midair. Yeah. Because those are three of the most dominant letters in all of professional sports entertainment is RKO. Now, granted, he got that move from Diamond Dallas Page. But I would have liked to seen Randy Orton beat Kofi in a close match, like an RKO out of nowhere. But now on to the next match. Bayley defeating Charlotte Flair. And a technicality. Okay, I'm heated about this because not only do I have a crush on Miss Charlotte, but
who's married to Andrade San Almas.
Where'd he go?
I just turned his camera off.
No, he popped out of the room. But
Charlotte is married to Andrade.
No fucking way.
Yep.
He's not going to be able to get back in.
But Charlotte Flair hitting the bottom turnbuckle that was exposed, and then all of a sudden Bayley pins her and the match is over.
Well, I mean, kudos to WWE.
Bayley is a heel.
Yeah.
Because her best friend Sasha Banks is also a heel, which I think is fucking stupid. But I think, in my opinion, Charlotte Flair should have won the title back from Bayley, so they could have an ongoing feud, not just Charlotte Flair one and done.
Yeah.
I would like to see the title change hands a couple of times. Because one thing I don't get, like, Bayley's character, when she comes out, it's still, I'm the hugger.
Yeah.
And she's a heel. WWE creative, how much sense does that make?
Well, see, it's not the creative side of it, well, it is technically. But it's really up to the writers, and half the writers, are ex movie stars. Because I know one of the writers is the kid from Home Alone Part 3. But there's a lot of creative talent in there. They just need to get her away from the Bailey buddies and the hugging and stuff like that. I know it's still over. I would have loved Charlotte to get the win. But kudos, Bailey, she went a good while without even holding a title.
She's won 2 titles.
Yeah, that's the Raw Women's title or tag team title.
She's held 3 titles. Okay, she's held the women's the tag team championship when it first came out, when she was tag team champions with Sasha, and then I remember she beat Charlotte in a match for, I think, the Raw Women's Championship.
Yeah,
and then Alexa Bliss took that, so then she's now SmackDown Women's Championship. Now, don't get me wrong, Bayley is talented, but I think she needs to get away from the hugger persona and go something a little bit different.
Yeah, I agree. I'm surprised what they're doing with Nikki Cross, with Alexa. I would have loved to see Nikki Cross go up against Bayley instead of Bayley versus Charlotte. Because I thought that would have been a better match. No offense, no taking away from Charlotte. She's a phenomenal in-ring competitor. And, what drives her is, the spirit of her brother, Reed. God rest his soul. If it wouldn't have been for him, we wouldn't have Charlotte. But I would have loved to have seen Charlotte upset Bayley to get at least another title run. But we won't know until the draft, which the draft is very soon. I was upset. I would love to see Charlotte pick up the win over Bayley.
All right. Now, the next match we move on to is the match between Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks ended in a disqualification win for Banks, but Lynch still retained. See, that looked like what they were trying to do. It kind of reminded me of the old Bret Hart Stone Cold double switch. Yeah. Stone Cold came out as the heel, Bret was the face, and then all of a sudden they kind of did that. But the disarmer through the chair, I think Becky was trying to prove a point to Sasha. Hey, look, you can't go around beating me with a fucking chair and not expect to be fucking beat up for it. Because I like Becky Lynch. I really do. As soon as she got away from the Irish last kicker gimmick and went more towards the man gimmick, I really like that change of gimmick. But the way that match could have ended, I just didn't like how it ended.
Well, there's so many speculations out there that, Becky got fined because the chair hit the referee. No, Becky did not get fined because the chair hit the referee in the shoulder. Becky with the moniker The Man, it suits her. No matter what, she's still going to be the Irish lash kicker. But I think where the shortcomings are is that Sasha, she's getting almost coddled a little bit because she just came back from honeymoon or whatever, and she's getting the coddling from Vince and creative, and they're not putting forth what they could. If Banks would lose that whole moniker, the boss, and the bull crap that she does, and turn her to a flat heel gimmick, um, change her music, change the way she looks, for the love of Pete, that bright blue hair, then there could be something there. I whether it was DQ or not, I'm happy that Becky came out victorious.
All right. Here is the big surprise for me. I didn't expect this. Eric Rowan beating Roman Reigns, which Vince McMahon likes to really coddle Roman Reigns, and that's the popular opinion of most wrestling fans, and a no disqualification thanks to the returning of Luke Harper. It's like a Bludgeon Brothers reunion.
It is.
And Luke Harper looked freaking good when he came back.
But it's just like, way Dave Meltzer said, that everybody thought, Luke Harper was going to wait out his contract. Because pretty much he said on the shelf he was in the Saudi Battle Royal in Saudi Arabia, and everybody thought he was going to wait out his contract and go elsewhere, follow into the suit of everybody else and go over to AEW. That's not the case for Rhino. Rhino went to Impact Wrestling. But with Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, I like the Bludgeon Brothers gimmick. Could have done without the masks. But it's good to see him back. He looks in good shape compared to where he was.
Mm-hmm.
So, I would have loved to seen Eric Rowan, kind of
single-handedly beat Roman.
Yeah.
Because I think that would have been a major push for his character.
Yeah. Because his character, has, evolved since the Wyatt family and the Bludgeon Brothers and
Daniel Bryan.
Even with that Daniel Bryan stuff, he was a bodyguard. And that kind of works for Eric Rowan in the regards of he's tattooed. He can beat the living crap out of you. And he has more than a couple of moves to his moniker, so I would have loved to seen him beat Reigns clean and clear, but what are you gonna do? It's just like everything else. Fans can preach to Vince McMahon and say, "Hey, we want this, we want that," and
Vince McMahon does what he freaking wants.
Vince McMahon doesn't even watch any other product but his own. And that's kind of sad because there's competition out there.
All right. I think that's a good point that you have there. Now, I forgot this match. It was on this was on the pre-show, and God, I don't know why they put championship matches on the pre-show. I think the Roman Reigns and Luke Harper match, not Luke Harper, but Eric Rowan match should have been on the pre-card. But Roman Reigns is such a big star, he wants him in the limelight
Well, because he's been shoved down our throats.
for the past 3 years.
Yeah, I'm getting kind of tired of it.
But what about Drew Gulak, 205 Live, retaining against Humberto Carrillo and Lince Dorado in a triple threat match for the Cruiserweight? Why is it? They got too many names there for it to be a triple threat match.
Lince Dorado and Humberto Del Rio.
Hamburger.
Yeah, Hamburger Del Rio. And you got Drew Gulak, my God, his independence when he was in the Indies, phenomenal worker. They're giving him a little bit less of a push. So he did retain that title, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So that's a good thing. Of course, because the Cruiserweight title really doesn't mean anything. It's just another.
I mean, look who's held it. You had fucking Enzo Amore holding it for a while.
Which the man, I'm sorry, Enzo
Was a
has his
mouthpiece.
is a mouthpiece. He has his own issues. He's sloppy in-ring work. Now I could say differently for Big Cass if he can get past all of his other issues. But the match on hand, Drew Gulak. I would have loved seeing Lince Dorado.
Wait,
Get
Humberto
over.
Carrillo is one name. Okay, I had that wrong. Humberto Carrillo. Lince Dorado is a good in-ring performer, especially because they call him the King of the Ropes.
Well, I don't want to use.
But
this
I think
term
Drew
loosely.
Gulak needs more of a push because he's a good technical wrestler.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I don't want to use that loose term too loosely here, but breaking the third wall and kayfabe now on. I hate doing that, but with the guys from 205 Live, those are hard workers. But it's that old adage, they're spot monkeys. And that meaning is they want to hit all the high spots and no technical prowess and their moveset. And that's all good. But when you're in the ring with Drew Gulak, that man can tie you up in knots and you wouldn't even know it.
Nope.
But I would have loved to seen Lince Dorado pick up a win. He needs it. A lot of the 205 guys needs it. But now that 205 Live is becoming integrated with NXT, I'm going to hope the best for it.
Yep. Okay, the second match on the pre-show, which I don't understand why it was on the pre-show. It was a good match. AJ Styles defeating Cedric Alexander, and then Cedric Alexander gets ambushed by the OC. After the match, he gets beat down by the OC.
Kudos to the creative talent at WWE for kind of pushing the OC, the club, whatever you want to call them, pushing them in a good way. Keep that up. You should have kept the title belts on Gallows and Anderson. With AJ Styles being the U.S. champ, I believe.
Yes, he is the U.S. champion.
That seems like he's kind of getting pushed away from the spotlight a little bit. And that's sad. AJ, another phenomenal in-ring competitor. He's got a list a mile long of moves. And so does Cedric and Alexander. He was good. They were both good in Ring of Honor. AJ was awesome in New Japan and TNA. If they would give them a little bit more credit, I would love to have seen Alexander knock off Styles and win the U.S. title. it would it would put him in the chopping block. Yes, it is a mid-card title belt, but it would have put him in that standing for a bigger belt.
Yeah.
I would have loved to seen it.
Yep. I agree with you on that one. To me, the biggest surprise of the night was when Robert Roode, Bobby Roode is better, and Dolph Ziggler, oh God, defeating Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman for the tag team titles.
All I'm going to do, because, yes, Dolph is one of the hardest working in-ring talents that WWE has to offer. Dolph is a hard worker, despite, a lot of his shortcomings early on. He's achieved
He sells
a lot.
moves really good, though.
Yeah.
He's a Money in the Bank winner. He's cashed in Money in the Bank. I think he's a 2-time world champion.
He's a workhorse.
Yeah.
Not to put forth to Bobby Roode, that's another one. He's a workhorse.
He's been around for 20 plus years in sports entertainment. I think 27 years or something like that.
If they would give him a legit character, get rid of this glorious bullcrap. Give him a legit character, kind of like what TNA did. Beer Money Incorporated, they had, when he went from Beer Money, he was still Robert Roode, but he was this classy guy. He wasn't glorious. He was himself, just jacked up and, put it to that level. And he was an in-ring competitor that struck fear in a lot of people. So kudos to them two for actually pulling off the win. Because I'm sorry, Braun Strowman, Seth Rollins as a tag team, there's a demeanor here. Not good bedfellows. No matchy.
I see what you're saying. And I mean, I'm happy to see Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode because I don't think WWE Creative has been utilizing Bobby Roode to his full potential. I mean, he's a former U.S. champion, former NXT champion, and a tag team champion. But I want to see him go. I think they should actually push him to the main event title scene.
I mean, he has
the moveset. I mean, he has the blockbuster. He has all these freaking moves. The spine buster. I don't know why they call it the glorious DDT, but I think they should push Bobby Roode. Okay, the next match. The Revival. Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder defeating the New Day by Big E and Xavier Woods by submission. Honestly, I'm kind of glad that happened. Because the New Day's character is getting old.
Yeah.
Throwing pancakes into the audience. Oh, Houston! Don't you dare be sour! Clap! Like, it's getting old.
Yeah, it really is.
The New Day's been around for 3-4 years now?
Yeah, I mean, they've been, early 2000s they came in, they created a stable, and it wasn't as goofy as it was, as it is today. It was a little bit more serious, and, for them to be in the ring with Scott Dawson and his partner,
Dash
Wilder, fine technicians of the tag team era, because you gotta think tag teaming the way that they do it makes me think of Tully and Arn, Ole and Arn. It makes me think of great tag teams, just the technician style that they do. They dominate in ring and they take it to their corner and they bust the tag team up in their own corner. That's tag team wrestling at its finest. With the New Day, They're about acting goofy, acting silly. I think if they had something towards the line of um, a little bit more less cartoonish, just dull down the goofiness a little bit. Don't make Xavier Woods come out with a trombone or whatever, the tuba or whatever the heck he's coming out with.
Trombone.
Yeah, don't make him come out with that.
Brum, brum, brum.
Don't make him.
Oh God.
Don't make him toss pancakes. Because I've been in the locker room with Xavier Woods. Phenomenal in-ring talent. He's been put on the shelf way too long. Let him showcase his talent as an in-ring competitor. Big E is another one. I mean, he's a big guy. But he can get it done in the ring. And for them to, I'm glad that they didn't put the belts back on them. I'm glad the Revival took that one.
I am too. Okay, next match. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross defeating Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville for the tag team match for the Women's Tag Team Championship.
Okay, so I'm going to get one thing off my chest. The Women's Tag Team Championships, yes, I'm excited for them to have brought them back. Take them a little bit more seriously, for the love of God. You have talented tag teams in the women's division. You need to learn how to use them. Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose is just nothing but bare eye candy. Sonya Deville, I mean, she's a no-nonsense,
MMA, she's former MMA.
Yeah, I mean, she's no nonsense. She can get the job done. But having a tag team partner like Mandy Rose, I don't know. So in that light, I was happy to see Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross take the win on that one.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
But
Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss.
Alexa Bliss.
Alexa Bliss. I mean, she's a good in-ring Oh, don't do that. Oh, God. She is a good in-ring performer. She has moves like Twisted Bliss.
Yeah.
Her freaking punch. I remember when she first came out, she was the 5 feet of fury.
And she is 5 feet of fury. I'm sorry. She's drop dead damn gorgeous. And, I'm going to say that, Nikki Cross, she's gorgeous in her own right. She is very gorgeous. I mean, you got to think who was Alexa Bliss dating for a while? None other than Mr. Cruiserweight himself, Buddy Murphy. They were dating, and of course, I think it's Killian Dane who is married to Nikki Cross.
Michael Murray. No, he wasn't in the WWE. Ha ha ha, troll. All right. The match that I was really unhappy with, and I was really unhappy about this, Shinsuke Nakamura with Sami Zayn, still trying to stay relevant in WWE, defeating The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship with interference from Sami Zayn.
You've got 3 guys in the ring. You got The Miz, who in his right is a good worker. He's just a mouthpiece, but he's a good worker. Shinsuke Nakamura, coming from his Japanese background in New Japan and all over, phenomenal piece of talent. They need to work him a little bit more, take him a little bit more seriously. Sami Zayn, phenomenal in-ring talent, despite both of his shoulder injuries over the last few years and everything, been stacking up on him. Phenomenal guy right there. Great in-ring talent. I wish they would do more with him. But Shinsuke, with him holding the Intercontinental title, and it's as tarnished as tarnished can get. The Intercontinental title is one of those mid-card belts that has not been taken seriously since Piper has held it. It's sad that Nakamura has kind of went low on the totem pole as far as mid-card is concerned. They're not taking him seriously, and that's the old adage that that the man behind Tom, Stone Cold Steve Austin, once put it: if you're not into the company to win a title belt, I don't know why you're in the company. But when title belts don't really mean jack squat and you can't perform in the ring and show the guys, show the directors, and show the promoter and whatnot of the business that you can work, they're not going to take you seriously. And, Shinsuke has showed them that he could work. But they're not taking him seriously because I guess of his height and that his English is still not that great and that Vince McMahon cannot pronounce the man's name. So, I'm happy that Shinsuke, still holds that title belt, even though it doesn't mean squat. I would have loved to see Sami Zayn pounce on both of them. That would have been better. Set up something between all three of them. Set up a three-way between them all and battle for that Intercontinental title like it means something. So, I'm happy.
All right, that's all the matches on the card. Your thoughts on the pay-per-view overall? Good, average, or thumbs down on that one?
I'm going to have to give it a rating of right in the middle. So it's kind of right there teetering on the abyss that is going lower. So that's my thoughts.
My thoughts? Fucking Ryan.
What?
Not Ryan. Ryan's cool. Fucking Michael Murray. No, it's all good. 2 thumbs down for this show. Who cares, Michael? Who cares about you? This is our show. All right. I give it. Could have been a lot better.
Yeah. And so here's where I was talking about Braun Strowman being the, should we say, Frankenstein-ish thing. That's a nod to the new WWE 2K20 game coming out, where the Fiend is going to be your pre-order. So you get to play as the Fiend, but you get this all-new mode that's called Bump in the Night, where each character is basically a scary movie type deal. Braun Strowman is going to basically be Frankenstein. You've got King Swamp Man himself, Bray Wyatt, regular Bray Wyatt. You've got the Viper, Randy Orton, literally, who looks like a freaking viper. And you're gonna have a bunch of other characters, zombies and Wolfman and stuff like that. That's I can see where WWE Creative is going with everything, but I wish they would work on a little bit more storytelling. As far as match wise, it's not as good as it used to be in the 90s, in that Attitude Era, the Monday Night Wars.
Yeah.
It's not as good, but times have changed. Some people cannot get over the fact that it's,
Fucking Ryan. I call Eric the Viper because he's swift to get into my ass and finishes fast.
Oh,
hey, that's the first thing I've heard out of Tom's mouth since earlier.
No, but like WWE Creative is not going the way they should.
No.
I mean, Vince McMahon still has his fucking hand in there. Fucking Triple H still has his fucking hand in there.
Well, Triple H, Triple H is always, he's going to have his hand in there. Triple H is doing good stuff with NXT 205 Live, NXT UK. That's his baby. What it is it's Vince, all puns of the word, tickling the taint and putting his hands underneath the ball sack of life, which is NXT 205 Live, NXT UK. Because you've got up and coming young talent on these promotions that are showcasing it like their lives freaking depend on it. But you go on the main roster, you're not. You've got guys on the main roster that aren't even getting television time, which is sad. And
Apollo Crews.
Do what?
Where is Apollo Crews at?
Once again, that's another one that has not gotten any TV time. Let me see.
Tremendous in-ring competitor, light on his feet and strong as a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Very athletic.
I've been on an indie show that he was at, and he is what Logan just said. Very light on his feet, very energetic, awesome competitor. So let's see. What is today? The 22nd, I believe. Today's the 22nd.
Yep.
So yesterday, WWE did have a live event in Sagacha, Japan, or China. Yeah. We had Kevin Owens defeat Andrade.
Nice.
You had Chad Gable defeat EC3, which
another guy they haven't done nothing with, which
is sad. You had the 24/7 championship, which I'm sorry
is a joke.
Yeah, it's an utter complete joke. The match was won. Let's see. EC3 defeated Ron Killings, R-Truth, as everybody knows him. And shortly after, R-Truth won the title back.
For like the 100th time.
My God. Then they had Carmella and some Japanese lady, Xali, I believe it is. Xiali. An NXT person versus Mandy Rhodes and Sonya Deville. They ended up defeating Mandy Rhodes and Sonya Deville.
No surprise.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. And then they had the Intercontinental title match. Shinsuke Nakamura with Sami Zayn versus Prince Ali.
Mustafa Ali, another character they're not doing anything with.
Well, I call him Prince Ali because, I mean, it's just a moniker and it's funny as hell. But his promo work is spot on. I love it. Um,
Who
then
won
they
that
had
match? Shinsuke won.
Shinsuke did defeat Ali.
With the help of Sami Zayn, no doubt.
Yeah, probably. But Sami Zayn later on in the evening went up against Roman Reigns, who Roman Reigns desecrated in the middle of the ring. And then they had a street fight for the SmackDown Women's title, Bayley versus Charlotte. But Charlotte put Bayley through a table after the match. So let's see. Bayley did defeat Charlotte with the pop of the night going to Charlotte. They had the Raw, or not the Raw, but the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. Once again, Revival versus New Day.
Revival winning.
Revival winning. And then they had the WWE Championship match between Kofi Kingston and one Daniel Bryanson. Kofi Kingston picking up the win at that live event.
When did this happen?
This happened yesterday.
Oh, shit.
And that is according to WrestleZone.com. So let's see. Let's see. We're going to go on to some NXT. Let's see. They had a live event in Melbourne, Florida.
Yep.
Danny Burch defeated Raku Shaheen. Guess that's how you.
WrestleZone.
Yes.
Danny Burch, Rinku Singh.
Riku Singh.
Which is probably one of the Singh brothers. No surprise.
Yeah, probably. Let's see. We had Damian Priest defeating Nick.
Ogarelli.
Oldarelli. Killian Dane did defeat.
Reed.
Yeah. Got some pictures here. I wished I could bring them up on the.
Angel Garza defeated Raul Mendoza. Keith Lee and Jordan Miles defeated the Outliers. Matt Riddle defeated Dexter Loomis. Ray Shipley and Reina Gonzalez defeated Marina Shafir and Shayna Baszler with Jessamine Duke. NXT North American Championship. Roderick Strong defeated Kushida.
And that is, there's one thing right there. Kushida is a phenomenal piece of in-ring talent from New Japan Pro Wrestling. That's all, folks. Blah, 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 blah. And Roderick Strong, phenomenal piece of talent. But I'm sitting here thinking, with all this talent, now they're in the limelight on the USA Network on Wednesday nights. Here's the thing. What's coming right around the corner on Wednesday nights on TNT? I'll wait. AEW Dynamite.
Oh, God.
That's what they're calling it. And what you gonna do, brother, when AEW runs wild on you? Sorry, had to.
NXT draws over 1.1 million. Ooh.
They beat the main roster. I'm sorry. People watch NXT because they want wrestling. They don't want all this. Hi, guys. My name's Baron Corbin. I'm the king of the ring. All hail Baron Corbin. They don't want none of that. They want freaking wrestling. And that's what AEW is giving everybody. Mm-hmm. So I'm sitting here thinking, we're gonna see what AEW's got. I mean, now that you look at it, they have got a good commentary team for Wednesday nights, and that being Tony Schiavone and good old JR Jim Ross on commentary. I mean, you can't get no better unless you threw Mike Today in there, and it's nothing but a rehash of WCW. But, you know, there again, it's pretty much like a rehash of WCW. It's like freaking 10 times better than, you know, what WCW was after the early 2000s. Because WCW sucked in the early 2000s. Tom, don't look so bored.
Oh,
What was the last wrestling match you watched when you were younger? When you were in your youngin' years?
I watched a lot. Triple H, Stone Cold, The Rock, what else? The Undertaker, Kane. There's a lot of them I watched. I remember half of them.
I mean, go ahead.
The last live event I went to was a live taping in San Antonio, Texas. And I'm not going to give everything away because the live tapings were unique in a way.
Yeah.
And the last one I went to was an indie show.
Yeah.
And it was House of Lucha in Largo, Florida.
Good show. You know, independent wrestling is one of those that are on the forefront. And, you know, these guys that go out there and bust their butts in the independent circuit, just trying to make ends meet, you know, because they love and they're passionate about independent wrestling. You know, I can say that that I was, and you know, I'm still passionate about wrestling.
I am too.
And you know, that's the reason we're doing this. And it's just, you know, independent wrestling is one of the things that I'm going to have special reports coming to the channel. Just instead of putting them on live, I will just do reports with videos. And, you know, I'm sure Logan, if he wants to send me some footage, if he wants to record some stuff as far as anything, you know, he can send it to me and I can put it on the actual channel, Pro Wrestling Chatter. All the videos, including this one, will be up on the YouTube. You know, and Tom, you know, if he wants to, anytime he wants to jump on and, you know, not be so quiet.
I gotta start watching it again.
But
Watching it again.
Oh yeah, you gotta start watching it, man. I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna poke fun at you, buddy, and you know I'm not going to, and you know I understand most people stopped watching wrestling when they were got in their got older, you know, because hey, it's fake, wrestling's fake. Let me point one thing out: wrestling is not fake. Yes, the matches are predetermined, but wrestling is not fake by all means. The hits are real.
The injuries are real.
The injuries are real. The chair shots are real. Everything is real. And it does hurt. I mean, I'm sitting here today with short-term memory loss due to post-concussion syndrome. And that being over 8 counts, over 8 concussions, over 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
I have got 2 blown out knees. I've got a broken tailbone that I've never gotten fixed. Who needs tails anyways? We don't have tails. But that's the reason I'm always sitting here just trying to find a comfortable spot in my chair. But I mean, it is hard for me to get up out of the bed in the mornings because every bone in my body aches. Every joint hurts. And that's because of professional wrestling. I love it, and I wouldn't take any of it back that I did. I've got footage, I've got video of me wrestling. I've got photos, and Logan's seen them. I mean, it's violent, but it's something that I am passionate, just like with vaping. I'm very passionate with them both, and I take stuff very seriously. It's just the way I am, and that's the reason I decided. I'm like, hey, Logan, you want to do this? Let's do it. Let's do a channel. And, Pro Wrestling Chatter was born.
Yep.
And, Tom is going to come on here. I don't matter who it is, as long as they got some wrestling stuff to talk about. If you like wrestling, join us.
Yep. All right. Here is the most recent NXT pay-per-view results. We'll quickly go through this and then we can end the stream. First match, Breezango, Tyler Breeze, and Fandango defeated the Forgotten Sons, Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler, in a tag team match.
That's another one. I want to see the Forgotten Sons pushed hard because they have a former TNA and a former, I believe he was in the Marine Corps. And that is Gunner from TNA. He is one of the Forgotten Sons. I would love to see that tag team pushed. I'm very disappointed that they didn't go over on Breezango because I do not like that gimmick.
No. All right, next one. Tournament final of the NXT Breakout Tournament. Jordan Miles defeating Cameron Grimes.
Jordan Miles, phenomenal in-ring competitor. So that gets a clap on my book.
I want to say
kudos.
In the stream.
What?
These two are my favorite wrestlers because they always get the table matches.
Yep.
The Dudley Boys are synonymous with table matches, and they are awesome.
Oh God, this match, when I saw the result, kind of upset me.
Mm-hmm.
The Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, defeated the Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish.
And they're right. Okay, so with the Street Profits, and this is the rumor that's going around that Booker T wants to manage the Street Profits. So if Booker T came in to manage the Street Profits, I think they'd be successful. As they are right now,
I don't think so.
And for them to go over two guys that have so much wrestling knowledge between them and so many years, and Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, that right there is a disappointment.
Yep. All right. This match, Io Shirai defeated Candice LeRae by technical submission.
Kudos, because Io Shirai is a phenomenal in-ring Japanese talent. I think it was from the Sunny promotion in Japan. Phenomenal piece of talent. She does a moonsault like no other. And, just her technical prowess. Hey, I'm gonna give it to her. I'm happy for that one.
All right. Triple threat match for the NXT North American Championship. Velveteen Dream defeated Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong.
Well, now that we know, this is going to be a spoiler here. Everybody, if you've watched NXT recently, found out that Roderick Strong is now the new North America champion.
Because Velveteen Dream is out with injury.
Yes. Velveteen Dream. Love the character. Athletic. He's athletic.
I loved his feud with Aleister Black.
Yes. That man is gifted. Your push will come one day, oh son. Who was the other guy that was in the match?
Pete Dunne.
Pete freaking Dunne, the king of the bruiserweights. Oh my God. That kid has it all. He will knock your teeth down your throat and you won't be sorry about it. That's after losing the NXT UK championship to Walter. I'm surprised that they didn't give him the North American championship. So I'm disappointed. I wish Pete Dunne would have won it.
All right. Shayna Baszler defeated Maya Yim by technical or by submission.
Shayna Baszler in her right has got a lot of technical prowess coming from her MMA background and also her independent background. So Maya Yim, yeah, I'd have to say I'm happy to see Shayna Baszler still champion.
Yep. I agree with you on that one. And last but not least, Adam Cole, baby, defeated Johnny Gargano in a 2 out of 3 falls match for the NXT Championship. And that match lasted 46 minutes and 41 seconds.
Both in their rights. Awesome in-ring competitors. Also, both of them, independents. They're just still homing their crafts, and they don't have anything else to give but their blood, sweat, and tears, and that's what they're giving you. And to see Adam Cole, baby, regain.
No, he was a champion going into the match.
Oh, he wasn't. He wasn't. Okay, but did he win?
Yes, he retained the championship.
Okay, so he retained the championship.
Yes.
To see him retain that championship is phenomenal because Adam Cole is a phenomenal PC in-ring talent. Joey Gargano, just like his tag team partner, his former tag team partner, and that would have been
what was his name?
Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah, Tommaso Ciampa.
Both of them, Tommaso Ciampa is one of those backstage, king of the locker room. You don't mess with him. You do what he says, and he's a locker room leader. And Gargano can be that locker room leader. He's very strong-willed, very good piece of in-ring talent. Would love to see him get a bigger push. Maybe hold the NXT title a little longer than he did. But Adam Cole, he's got charisma behind him. So and talent. Yeah. So I'm happy to see him, regain that title. So
all right. That does it for the premiere episode of Pro Wrestling Chatter with your host, Chris, co-host, Logan.
Guys, support wrestling, support independent wrestling. And if you didn't hear that bell, hit that bell notification so we can all hear it on the new channel, Pro Wrestling Chatter. I will link it in the description after we go live or after we are done with this.
All right. Everybody? Oh, I can't stop it. Are you host?
I'm not host. Tom is host.
Tom! Tom! Motherfucker.
I
Hey,
guess
guys, we're back.
we're still here, guys. Tom left us high and dry.
You're host, not me.
No, you're host.
No, I'm not. Give it to Diamond Dog.
You gave it to me?
Yeah, you have host.
Go to the top where it says custom live streaming service.
Oh.